We all know someone who we deem to be a great friend. They're always available, always fun to be around, and always someone we can count on. Everyone has their own friendly neighborhood kaiju that they always want to keep around them, right? Hello, welcome to class. This is Anime Psychology 101, and today we're talking about friendship and the power of being a great friend to others. Today, we're talking about Hibino Kafka. Kaiju No. 8 dropped in 2024 and absolutely delivered a killer show. Each episode dropped and ended with me wanting to watch another one. The characters were well put together, and even with the short season, we saw growth from a few of the key characters. The backstory between Mina and Kafka also added a cool twist and kind of reminded me of certain aspects of the show of Attack on Titan with Eren and Mikasa's relationship. I'll bet this one is a little bit healthier. Kafka is an older man, and he's running out of time to make his dream of joining the Japanese Kaiju Defense Force a reality. It's the last year that he's eligible to join, so he tries one last time. However, the notable change this time around is Kafka has the latent abilities of Kaiju No. 8, who decided to take a deep dive into his insides. For much of the season, we see a cat and mouse type scenario play out with Kafka quietly using his kaiju abilities to help his unit defeat other kaiju without any witnesses to his power, minus his two friends Rino and Kikuru. The climax of the series and the inevitable problem that has to be faced is, what happens when the Defense Force finds out there's a kaiju working for them? Throughout the show, Kafka is referred to by his fellow unit members as old guy or old man, but for the most part, it's not really a derogatory term, more of a term of endearment from his friends who are younger and, in some degree, look up to Kafka. There are really three main attributes of Kafka's that really make him a lovable character and a desirable person to look up to for his unit mates. The main three are self-control, self-improvement, and self-sacrifice. Let's start with self-control. Kafka, he had a job in the cleanup department that he didn't really enjoy, but he definitely understood that he had a role to play in the function of the city. Even before becoming a kaiju host, he was reliable. He made sure that he knew his craft. After becoming a kaiju host, he stepped up his self-control and understanding that he had to hide his power most of the time with the Force, but knowing when to release enough to make sure everyone was safe. This leads into his self-improvement. He was willing to work while others slept in order to improve his value to the unit and to make reaching his goal easier. He really strives to put in more work than the others, and people respect people who hustle. This leads to others, even leaders, pushing themselves more to stay ahead of their soldiers. It creates healthy competition. Since he was able to become stronger, he then is able to bear his heart with his self-sacrifice. We see this when he reveals his kaiju form to everyone in order to save his unit from destruction. He is willing to accept any consequences for his actions when he saves his unit from Kaiju No. 10. Self-sacrifice is a very common thing in stories, and it's considered an honorable trait across most cultures, whether it's someone like Kafka sacrificing himself to protect others, or someone like Lelouch from Code Geass sacrificing himself for an ideal, or someone outside of anime like Jesus who died for the salvation of humanity. Another aspect of self-sacrifice that I want to talk about is a little different. We see in the trials leading up to joining the Defense Force, Kafka, knowing that he's a weaker person, he decided that what he was going to do was team up with others and support the others, rather than try to steal the spotlight from the ones that were outperforming everyone else. Even after being accepted as a cadet, he provided vital knowledge to his vice captain about the reproductive abilities of the mushroom-type kaiju that had attacked with the larger kaiju. He never stopped looking for ways that he could be helpful and increased his worth to his unit. So what can we learn from Kafka? How can we improve and take inspiration from his impact and the story? Well, like all of these lessons, let's start by asking ourselves some questions. This may seem like a rude question, but ask yourself, do I want to be a good friend to others, or would I rather focus on what I can get out of people? If you are solely focused on yourself, You'll never become a good friend to anyone, and you'll probably end up being lonely at some point. Second question, what areas am I already disciplined in, and where do I need to apply self-improvement so that I can become more disciplined in other areas? Third question, Kafka had a huge goal of wanting to stand next to Mina and defend their home from attacks. What goals do I have that will drive me to become the best version of myself that I can be? These questions will really shed light onto who you are and who you want to be. The biggest question is, do you have what it takes to make the sacrifices to become that person that you want to be? We should all strive to be like Kafka, to be our best, leaving nothing on the table, and to be good friends to those around us. Well, that's all for today's class. This has been Anime Psychology 101, and we'll see you in the next lesson.